Nightreign Solo is a whole new challenging From Software experience I am hopelessly obsessed with. The unforgiving nature of playing the game alone and potentially losing 40 minutes of a run seems intimidating at first, but after familiarizing yourself with the layout of Limveld and its gameplay loop, you may find this game to not be nearly as hard as you think, along with being seriously entertaining. So allow me to walk you through my first solo run clear. The start of the match was the perfect drop. Like the start of every run, I cleared out a few trash mobs to reach level 2. These churches with the holy icon contain oracles. I hit them a few times to get the first boss kill of the run. They dropped a sacred flamberge, which is perfect for Wilder. Nearby was a camp of Redmane soldiers with 2 knights acting as the boss. Unlike what I did in this run, I recommend taking the archer at the top of the tower out first, since his rain of arrows can be rather annoying to deal with. The health restoration buff from this location is one of my favorites to get. It essentially is the Crimson Seed talisman in this game. The next place I went to had a madness troll, and he never stood a chance against the holy flamberge. The weapon is holy, so the affinity damage increase I picked up here will make it even more effective. These castles where you enter in through the basement are my favorite places to clear with Wilder. They will either have golems or crystallians at the top, both of which are easy pickings for the beautiful pile bunker. Wilder's ultimate ability. If you put a weapon from Armored Core in an Elden Ring game, I'm going to use it as much as I can. Next, I went to the basement of the center castle way too early and I died. I should not have tried that boss fight on the first day. Despite this, the run was still successful in the end. This goes to show you that even if you do die during a run, that doesn't mean it's over. So stay in there and keep fighting. Your luck may easily change later on. The next clear was yet another golem who met the same fate as the first. The fight, or lack thereof, ended in an instant. Knight 1 spawned in 2 omens at the beginning who were quite susceptible to backstabs. I thought I was going to see Morgott spawn in, but the Knight's cavalry dropped by instead. Fighting Morgott is much more fun, but I begrudgingly accepted the easier fight. The morning of day 2 saw a Misbegotten take a pile bunker spike to the face before I made my way to some lightning ruins. The Beastmen of Farum Azula stun on greatsword hits, so this was another easy fight. The claymore I placed in my inventory had a passive that increased 2-handed damage. All the passives of the items in your inventory affect you whether they are equipped or not, unless that effect is highlighted in red. I exclusively use weapons 2-handed as Wilder, so this is a most welcome addition to my inventory. The Frost Ruins in the vicinity had Zamor warriors, and they dropped a cold, rotten battle axe for me to use. At level 8 and a couple of churches of Marika visited, I decided it was time to do some late run content. There are 4 extra difficult bosses that spawn in during a run that will drop purple and sometimes golden weapons. They are indicated by a red glow around their boss symbol on the map. Of the difficult field bosses that are best reserved for day 2, magma worms are among the easiest to take out. Hitting them in the head consistently is no problem. 2 status effects and a pile bunker put the failed dragon in the ground and dropped me a purple envoy horn. This goofy weapon, of all things, is what carried my run to the end and secured my first solo victory. The next fight was a golem. You can guess how that went. Luckily enough, there was a castle with a crystallian. 1 pile bunker later, and he was downed also. At level 10 with the circle closing in, I made it to my second night boss. The beastmen were no problem, but the ancient dragon that followed was. In my Elden Ring runs, I usually don't bother fighting any ancient dragons, so I am very rusty when it comes to fighting them. The fight got really sloppy and close to ending my run, but it was nothing that the purple envoy horn couldn't handle. Ultimate gauge charge cooldown rate means more pile bunkers, and who wouldn't want more of those? I walked into the Night Lord fight at level 11 with 1 extra life and a musical instrument. The second Night Lord of the game, Adel, is a grab attack based fight that starts using gravity magic in the second phase. The first time I fought him was in a group, and the crazy amount of grab attacks really threw us off. His weakness is poison, and when inflicted, he stuns and pukes up a mound of bile that gives you a solid damage window. Instead of going out of my way during the run to procure some poison arms, I stuck with the horn throughout the fight. It was another close finish, but the stress was totally worth saying I did my first clear with a demented trumpet. When you're playing Wilder, stick to greatswords as he is a quality build character and does not have much in the way of faith scaling. Defeating Adel gave me the Knight of Baron relic. which boosts critical hits, refills some of your ultimate gauge when you crit, and buffs stamina regen. You will see this relic used in future videos. This being my first solo run, I made plenty of mistakes. Mistakes that didn't have to do with mistiming dodges and using the funny weapon on the last fight. The first was challenging the castle basement boss on night 1, when I was not nearly powerful enough to do so. Next, and less obvious, was not killing trash mobs moving from location to location, most notably at the end of the day. You never should prioritize them. However, many enemies could give you more than 1,000 runes each. Taking out a lot of them throughout a run could be the difference between a whole level by day 3. The higher the level you attain by the Night Lord, the better. To close this out, I want to say how much I'm enjoying this game. It's so fun to learn new and beautiful From Software bosses for the first time. All look intimidating, but I wouldn't call any of them the hardest in the series. If you've beaten Melania and Promised Consort before, you can take on Elden Ring Nightreign, even solo. For a point of comparison, the final boss of this game took me 3 tries to beat for the first time, while Mesmer took me a dozen. I spent way too many hours playing this weekend so far, and am already much better at the game than in the clips for this run. I will start going through the relic setup since I have some useful ones now, so stay tuned for more solo playthroughs to come, and a new video here on the Jersey side at least every Friday at 5 PM Eastern Time.